Welcome. This is the Fever is Real Docu series, telling stories. And on this Hispanic Heritage Month, we celebrate, we give tribute to one of our very own. She's a United States Air Force munitions maintenance specialist, veteran. She's a certified running coach, mentor, health and fitness, co-leader ambassador at Latinas Run Chicago. She's a motivational speaker, a former human resources speaker. She knows the assignment, always giving back to the community. It's my honor, it's my privilege. On the Fever is Real docu-series on this Hispanic Heritage Month, Ruthie E. Maldonado, Delwiche.
Born and raised in the city of Chicago, southwest side of Chicago. Was in the military from 80 to 88. When I came back, while I was in the Air Force stationed in Hawaii, I ran every day.
Wow.
And so I enjoyed the running. I came back in 1988 and the running took a sabbatical.
Okay.
Because I felt like the seasons were never quite right for running. But then in 2009, my nephew invited me to go for a run, and I attempted to run a 5K, which is 3 miles, and I could barely do it. And I realized that my running had taken a bit of a hit. Okay. So I started running, and since then, running became my passion. Running became my saving grace. My husband was diagnosed with cancer in 2014, and he passed in 2015. During that year, running became my therapy because I would run before his treatments, after his treatments, while he was in treatments. Because him and I, it was us. My son was here, but my son would come and visit him, but I was his main caretaker. Wow. So running became my saving grace. Once Stan earned his angel's wings in 2015, running became everything to me.
So would you say that when you were running and your husband was ill and that was going on, did that become like your stress reliever for you at that time that was going on? And then after that happened, what did it become?
It became my continuous therapy.
Okay.
It saved me because even while Dan was going, I used running to help me through my grief process.
Okay.
Because it really did. I mean, while I was running, I cried so many tears on the path. And it's because while running, you can do that.
Wow.
So, and that's what I try to express to people, that it's not about how fast you go. It's not how quick you are, how cute you are, how young you are. It's about getting out there and putting one foot in front of the other.
That's
and
good to
I'm
know.
a
Great
firm
information.
believer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit briefly, because I'm sure that you would have a lot to say about your experience when you went into the Air Force. It's curious to me because being, a Boricua queen, and going out, and doing the service, it's just amazing to me how the changes that happen when people go into the service. So a little bit about that experience going in, hard, good, bad.
It was wonderful. The reason I joined the military is because I had my heart broken. And it's like I was trying to change my life. I needed something different. My brother was a Marine, and he told me, if you want to go in, he recommended the Air Force. It's the hardest to get in, but he suggested I go into the Air Force. And I did it because I wanted to get away from Chicago, because that's where my heart was broken. And it's interesting because I went in during a time when females were not in the military. You did not. And even the recruiter I first went to tried to discourage me. Why do you want to give up your good job to join the military. And he would schedule appointments with me and not show up. So I found a different recruiter, and I ended up joining.
Persistence paid.
Yes. Persistence paid the price.
Sure.
And it was a wonderful experience from the time I landed I went to school, of course, Lackland, Denver, Colorado. My first assignment was in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And the guys took care of me. And I was young, 28. Sure. And they embraced me right away. And so it was a wonderful learning experience. It was the first time I was away from my dad, from my family. So you are forced to grow up. Yes, it changes you. And when I came back, I was going into the public schools talking to kids. And I always said, if you didn't know what you wanted to do upon graduation from high school, go into the military. They pay for your room, you pay for your boarding, you travel, and you grow up.
Wow.
So
that's great experience to go through, and to tell young people, because they need to know. We need to hear, because if we can't see it, we can't be it. Right. And that's part of our culture. We need all our people, Latino, no matter where you're from. Go and do what you want to do. Don't let things stop you. I wanted to ask you, how was that experience being a munitions maintenance specialist? That's a big title, and that must come with it even sounds like a very big responsibility.
It was. I picked that career because I wanted to work with computers.
Okay.
I never saw a computer.
Wow.
We were inspecting the bombs that would go on the aircraft if there was a war.
Okay.
So I was an inspector at the bomb plant. I would go inspect the air, make sure there was no leaking, because we had these big binders that we would have to check everything on the bombs to make sure there was no leaking, they weren't rusted, etc.
Okay.
So it was a job. It was a regular job.
Okay.
Tell you a quick point. I met my husband while working at the bomb plant.
And then you enlisted because you were heartbroken.
Yes. God,
you see,
has a sense of humor.
And you were persistent because the guy kept changing the appointments on you, and you were like, I got to get another man to get me in here because my husband's waiting for me.
Yes, exactly. Because I joked that I said saw Dan. Dan worked in the bomb plant too.
Oh, wow.
And I worked inspecting the munitions, and I always joked that Dan looked across the field and said, that nappy-headed Puerto Rican is mine. And because we met December 26th. He proposed in February. We were married in May. 5 months after we met, Dan and I were married. We were married 31 and a half years.
Wow. That is beautiful. Yeah, that is a love story. Tell me, what would you say to that younger girl, that young lady that probably didn't know? It's very cliche because we always say that, what would we say to our younger self? But it's good for us to know because we change. We got, so many decades that we have different changes with ourselves. So what would you say to any decade younger part of you that you know now that you didn't know then?
Yeah, I would just say, stop waiting for others to tell you you're okay. Because I think I'm 66 years old, and I continue waiting, trying to impress people,
Yeah, that's powerful, because, I seen you, when I first met you, you came to, they had an adaptation of my book.
Yes.
It was a play called Back in the Days, and it was Urban Theater Company of here in Chicago that produced it. And she was part of the audience, and I remember she came up to me, and it was just like a sister, a friend. It was just like, I was like, sure, we started talking. And I really took to that conversation simply because it was so warm and inviting, and it wasn't, it was just good when you came up to me. And then I started following you on Facebook, and then I seen everything you do with the running, with your groups, and so inspiring to me, and I bet you to a lot of people. So by you saying, when you just said, you know, stop waiting for people, that's magical because you give a lot back and you inspire a lot of people. You inspired me because I needed to have a conversation with you. I needed for you to be here. I wanted somebody out there to meet her. And if you have to reach out to her or have her information, you reach out to her. All of us have an assignment of inspiring or moving or just sharing. That's the job of a leader. And you are just like that. I want to tell you, what is it now at this age that you say, man, I wish I knew that when I was younger? About you, about life, emotions, things, struggles, anything. What comes to your mind? Man, I wish I knew that when I was, because now I can handle it better. Or I wish I knew that because now I know how to content my emotion. What would be that come to your mind? I wish I knew that.
I think the greatest I wish I knew that would be I am capable of doing anything I set my mind to, because running a marathon was something that I always thought I was too old, and yet I ran my first at 58. So I think knowing that, like way back then, I always set walls on what I cannot achieve,
wow.
what I can't do. I can't do that because I'm Latina, or because of where I came
wow.
from, or because, and yet now when I look back, there's so much more. I'm very happy with where I'm at now. Papi and Mommy were unbelievable, and I've got 4 siblings, with me it's 5, and we are Maldonado strong. We are a family that have each other's back. I have a son that's beautiful. My world, but I still think when I look back that I think knowing that you can do it, just go. I think I've gathered up more and more now. I think I'm stronger now because I used to allow fear to hold me back. And now I'm at an age that I'm not going to let it, and life is too short. That's right. So might as well go do it. I had a former boss whom I love to death, John Melick, who used to say it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And that really is kind of my motto. Do it and see what happens.
Wonderful. Yeah. I think that's a great advice. What do you, when you were telling us that you were running and when you were going through these crises in your life, very heartbreaking moments, and then you still continue to run, I want to ask you something. You know, what is it that you do when you run? Because when I see people running, I always wonder, when they run and they're listening to music, are they running to the music? Or are they just listening to the music and running like just running? Or do they have a goal and they're just like, I gotta run through everything? What is it in particular that you do? Because runners are serious.
Oh, yes.
But me, you know, because I'm a dancer, choreographer, I'll be running, but you'll see me dancing at the same time, you know. But then there's some runners that I wonder, are you running to something by Taylor Swift or salsa, or are you just have it there and you just, I gotta zoom? What's your process?
My process, I'll be honest, if you see me running the marathon in Chicago, from Loomis to Austin, I am dancing. So I am dancing. So I am.
You see? That's good to know, man.
Yeah. No, I'm not chasing goals. I am not chasing pace. I'm not chasing
that's real, you see?
Speed. I'm running, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes you wake up and you have a dark cloud over your head, and you need to cry. And I will run to Papi's music, to the sad music, so I could cry while I'm running. And it triggers the tears and allows me to release.
Running has been your therapy.
Yeah,
right? You have really used it for that. It's amazing.
Yeah. And now with running, like, I'm running the half marathon, 13.1 tomorrow. I'll be listening to merengue the whole way. That's my pace. It keeps me going.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
So you'll be running, so how many can you tell me that you've entered, that you've been?
I've ran, tomorrow will be 82 half marathons. My 82nd half marathon. And I've ran 14 full marathons.
And I bet you, man, I wish you had it with you, but I bet you got like 1 or 2 medals, right?
Oh God, I got many medals. I got many medals.
Gringo, what you say? 1 or 2? Yeah.
Let me bring my box.
Yeah, let me bring my box.
Yes, I've got a lot of medals.
Wow.
And I treasure them too.
Of course, of course.
Because people oftentimes say they're collecting medals. And no, I earned those medals.
Absolutely,
I did.
yeah.
I earned them.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody out there that, you know, just wants to have a good time and not, you know, go through such a strenuous kind of a workout or walk? What would you tell someone that might contact you and say, I want to start? What would be your advice?
I would start with Zelma, my sister. All you got to do is put one foot in front of the other. If you need a walk partner, I'm there for you.
Wow.
Just call me because
nice
that's how it begins. You start with walking, then you run from one pole to the other and walk. Then you run. And even with half marathons, I do intervals where I run for 5 minutes and walk for 1. My watch bings when it's time to start walking. So for anyone who wants to do it, because I think a lot of people are intimidated by, you got to be fast, you got to be a certain size, a certain age.
Right.
And it's not true. All of us can get out there. Anyone who wants to do it, is serious about doing it, can do it. Because when you say you're a runner, there's no pace attached to that.
That's good to know.
So,
That's
yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah.
So how many people, like, do you have? Like, I mean, I don't know. Is it? Do you run when you run with a group? Because sometimes it's a herd. It's not a group. Sometimes I see a herd of people. So how is it that comes about? Like, how do you get together? I mean, how do you put it out there and say I'll be here, or people contact you, or where do you get together at a certain park? How does that come about?
It's all through social media.
Okay.
I'm a lead ambassador with Latinas Run Chicago.
Okay.
We have our page on social media, and we say it shows when our races are going to, when our runs, because they're called local community runs, are going to happen. And then I run with Venados, and they run every Wednesday. And you talk about a herd. That is a big group.
I've seen a lot, yeah.
Yes, Venados. And then I run with Tortugas. Tortugas runs out of Pilsen, 2 miles. And it's every pace welcome. You start with, there are very fast runners all the way to the walkers in the back.
Wow.
But no one is ever left behind. So I'll be honest, I mean, when I go out there and run with all these groups, and it's funny because I buy the gear for all the groups. So whatever group I'm running with, I will have their swag on. So
that's wonderful. Now I know that you running, you know, I know that we're just like 6 degrees separation from you and me knowing the same people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna mention a name and I'm gonna tell you if you know him because he's a really nice guy. I know him when he was really young, skinny, and always in the back. And today he is a great man. He got beautiful daughters, and he works for the city of Chicago. Do you know Abraham Martinez?
oh my God. How did I know you were going to say Abe? I love Abe. I love Abe. I just ran the 13.1. At the finish line, Abe was there. And to see his face, I just love Abe to death. And he is one of the nicest, most genuine human beings.
He's really giving.
Yes.
So I bring his name up because that's to show you how you do me in, you do him in, and you're doing a lot of people in. 2 things I want to mention. Number 1, I know Abe because back in the days when I was with my dance groups, the All-Stars, and there were other dance groups in Chicago and in the neighborhoods, well, he was always in that crowd. And he was always like towards the outside. I was looking in, he knew the people, but he wasn't really into a lot of things. But he was part of our group. And very quiet. Like me, very docile, very quiet. You don't even know we were there. As tall as we are, you don't even know we were there. I know. You know, we're like the sweet little manatees. We were just floating there. And I see him cheering you on so much on social media. I write to him on social media also when he's running, and he loves this. He loves Chicago. He loves what he does, and he lives for his beautiful girls. I needed to mention him because that is the energy you bring. You being a leader, and I've discussed this before, you being a leader, or leaders in general, if we stay waiting for what we have given or shared, we're going to stay waiting for a long time. And I don't mean that bad. I mean that we got to remember that maybe our assignment is just to share, give what we know, take it, do something with it. You know, because we want to know, we want to make sure that maybe it'll inspire you. You could do it different. You could do it upside down. That's part of art. You know, we do it, and then someone else gets inspired and does it. Well, you know, Ruthie did this with this group. Let's do this with this group. It's always about inspiring people. So with that said, you know, Ruthie, you're giving back to this community. You're giving back to your family. You're giving back to a lot of friends that you know. I just want to remind you that you are being seen. You are being heard, because we forget. Leaders forget. Because we give, and sometimes we feel maybe we're not being seen,